Doctor Who's TARDIS would be exactly what we need to help us properly understand how our mind works. Because we now need to transport ourselves back in time. Now, before you switch off, I know therapists are often accused of being obsessed about people's childhoods. And I admit it, we are. We love talking about childhoods, but we need to go even further back than that. Like back through your family tree, all the way back through the mist of time, right the way past the Stone Age, to the very first human being that ever lived on this planet. Now, I'm a direct descendant of that very first human being, and so are you. And so is every other human being that's ever lived on this planet. So you and I are relatives. But before we get too excited about that, we need to remember that means Donald Trump is another of our relatives. We don't know the name of our oldest ancestor. We know they lived in Africa. We know that they died a very, very long time ago. But why do we need to know about our oldest ancestor to understand ourselves today? Well, the reason is because their mind was adapted to survive in a really difficult situation. And although they are long dead and we live in practically another world now, evolution hasn't had enough time yet to update our mind for the world that we live in today. So our very first ancestor's mind and our mind are still identical. If we can understand the type of world our mind was designed for, then we can begin to understand why it does the things it does, and why it makes us feel and behave in the ways that we do. The first thing we need to be aware of about our old ancestors is that they weren't the dominant species on the planet at that time. They were more likely to be lunch for many of the other animals that lived around them. Other animals could run faster, leap higher, and had bigger, sharper teeth and claws than we did. So we needed a brain that could keep us alive by outthinking the wild things that wanted to eat us. Now, our mind is more than just our brain, but our brain makes up a very big part of our mind. So the best place to start in trying to understand ourselves is to be more aware of this thing that lives inside our head.